Hi there, welcome back to Creatively Crafted Life. My name is Melanie and today is the second week in Finish It February. Finish It February is a challenge that I've issued to myself and to those of you that wish to participate, where we focus on getting specific projects done that we may have started in the past and have just lost speed or momentum on them, and we just really want to get them finished. Of course, you don't actually have to finish it. It may just be that you need the impetus to get started, and then, you know, that once the ball's rolling, you'll finish it in subsequent months. Basically, make the challenge work for you. That's how I roll. This is week 2. I'm going to be focusing on my December daily or Document December album. It's not really so much daily, more as a overall holiday season documenting. I have my mini album here, which I created earlier or late last year, I guess. And I've got videos on this, and I spent a evening printing out photos and doing my journaling. So it's just a matter now of affixing these in the album and then just adding any sort of finishing touches. I'm gonna go off camera, add this to the book, and then we'll come back and I will show you the end results with maybe a little bit of embellishing. We'll see how it goes. I might also choose not to embellish because the book's pretty, you know, the book's pretty done, I think. But you never know once you get started. So, speaking of which, let me get started. Okay, I finished putting this book together. It is a chunky monkey now. It's a little more stable, so it doesn't pop out quite as much at the bottom now that I have so much stuff in there. I am glad that I made it as thick as I did, because I did fill it. I added a title. I called it A Not So, in brackets, Traditional Christmas. Again, I'm exploring traditions during the holiday seasons, things that I've adapted, old traditions, and some traditions that are part of my ethnic background, but perhaps I don't really celebrate or follow anymore. So this is a flip out book. I will try to do my best to keep this somewhat in frame, but it is going to go outside because, well, I don't have a wide enough angle to cover the whole thing. But I'm sure you will get an overall picture. When you first open the book, there is a flip up. I've got a story about some tinsel icicles, and I remember throwing these on the tree when we were little. And I don't use them now because I think they're kind of messy. I also talk about my tradition of sending Christmas cards, how I love doing that. On this side, I have a pocket with a couple inserts. The 4x6 card with the ornaments only made sense that I talk about my tradition of creating a new ornament, a handmade ornament every year for my tree. I guess I have trees now. And then I have one of these flip up little inserts. This is just talking about friendship, and I have a picture of one of the gifts that I was given. Kept it very simple, just added a small sticker, and then on the back side I had some extra stickers left over, so I decorated this page even though, you know, I could have just left it blank. Flipping it over to the next section, these are the pockets. So I've got a larger insert followed by a smaller, and then I have 3 small single inserts. So on the back of this one with the clock, I thought I would just talk about New Year's Eve and how basically I never managed to stay up to midnight. And then I have 2 other smaller stories, one about attending church during the holiday season, and then the other one is how often it seems that I'm away from family during Christmas. And then I have a flip up one with a not so pretty dessert, talking about a recipe that my grandfather always made for our Christmas dinners. And yeah, let's just say it didn't work quite like I remembered it. For this one here, this is talking about the Dutch tradition of Sinterklaas and how my family really has never celebrated it, but I'm quite aware of it through other friends that do, and so I just talked a little bit about that. I didn't have any other photos, so I didn't need to add anything on the back side, and in this case I didn't even add a sticker. So on this side here, it's a replica of what we just looked at. It has, again, the larger the medium or small, and then 2 of the small little single cards. Again, I just use these for telling stories. So one is actually about the December Daily Project, or Document December, and how that's become a tradition, and also listening to Christmas music, and how actually this year I hardly listened to any because I was working from home, and I listened to music mostly in the drive to and from work, so that was something interesting. So the story I was documenting on this one is advent calendars, and I like to get a tea advent calendar. I've probably done it for about 3 or 4 years now, and I'm really enjoying it. And then on the back side, I added the picture of the interior of the advent calendar. And then the last one is documenting a New Year's Eve treat that is traditional in Dutch households. I'd actually never made these before. Deep frying kind of scared me a little, but I did do a batch and I was really quite pleased with how they turned out. They tasted quite delicious. And then on the back side, I actually have a picture of a recipe from my grandfather, even in his writing. I didn't actually make this recipe because I forgot I had it until I went to go and document. When we flip over to the next 2 pages, we have 2 pockets again. This one here, I actually added this little tag. It's from a Christmas tree that my friend gave me this year. It was a small little tree. She had heard that I was not putting up a tree because I just didn't have the space, and sent me this little tree. It was so cute. Inside this pocket, I have 2 4x6 cards. This one here was one of the cut aparts, and this one I made from one of the smaller cut aparts, some of the paper that I had pulled for this kit, and some stickers. On the back of the Christmas tree, I just talked about some Christmas treats that I enjoy and picked up this year. And on the back of this one, I documented Christmas dinner, which was very non-traditional. We had actually gone out for dinner, and not on Christmas. And then I have another one of those flip up books, and this is actually the story about the Christmas tree, which is why I added that in this pocket. And then here's my normal tree, not from this year, but I talk about it in my journaling. On this pocket, again, 2 4x6 cut apart cards and the flip up. On the Happy Holidays one, I actually have a picture of a turkey and talking about turkey dinner. This was actually Thanksgiving. As I mentioned earlier, we went out for dinner for Christmas, but we did actually do the full turkey dinner for Thanksgiving, so I thought I'd include that in here, because really this particular book is more about the holiday season than necessarily Christmas. So I started thinking of it as a holiday season, which here in the US starts around Thanksgiving and of course extends into New Year's. On the Hey Santa card, on the back side, I talked about my new tradition of doing a Christmas puzzle. I just started that last year. And on this little flip up, I have another tradition that comes from my Dutch background, which are chocolate letters. This is actually connected, I believe, to the whole Sinterklaas thing, but I did have a separate story that I wanted to document about that, so I included that in here. And the story was quite long, and so extended onto the back side. Okay, and then the last couple pages, we have another tip out this way, which has a decorative panel on here. I have a photo of the greeting cards that I received. Did a little bit of journaling on that. And in the final pocket, 2 more 4x6 cards, followed by another one of those folding out ones. So with Rudolph, I documented virtual hangouts, so friendships that I have made with people outside of my local area that lends itself to a virtual, which has really just come about in the last couple of years, and who knows, it may become a tradition going forward. Merry and Bright, I have a wine calendar, advent calendar on here. This is talking about gift giving and what my traditions are around that. And on this flip out with the North Pole, I have some pictures of a local botanical garden that decorates with a light display. Not your traditional holiday lights, but still pretty cool all the same. So that, my friends, is my Document December album for this year. I hope you found this inspiring to pull out a project of yours that you have started and maybe just need a little bit of a nudge to get it done. Maybe you have a December album that's not quite done. I would encourage you to pull it out. While we tend to think we should only work seasonally, so document Christmas during Christmas, there's nothing that says you can't pull it out now in February and relive those happy, fun memories. So that wraps up the second week of Finish It February. We only have 2 more weeks to go. I hope that you are playing along. Please leave a comment below what projects you are working on, whether you're making progress or if you actually complete. If you're part of my Facebook group, please feel free to post pictures. We'd love to see what you're doing. And until next time, happy crafting.